Yo, so I'm live, and I'm super excited. Oh, this is my second day on YouTube, so I'm actually enjoying it. I got up today. I want to tell you about my day, and I'm enjoying fantastic ice cream. I mean, this ice cream, don't be surprised if I take a few moments just to enjoy this ice cream, right? So, let me talk about a bit of my day, and then we're going to get into the other things. So the day I woke up, I always figured, okay, I'm gonna clean and everything like that. I'm not done cleaning. Now you can check my room out. It's kind of still wild. It's kind of still wild. You can check there. Here's my bed. Let me show you my bed. I mean, you can see it's still wild, right? So I still got a lot of things that I need to cover. But when I woke up, it's like, yeah, I want to clean, just do that. And I figured it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And it was. I got to listen to some amazing music. I mean, absolutely amazing music. You know, I got a new artist. What's her name? A new artist. She was so good. I mean, she was a fantastic singer. Absolutely fantastic singer, right? Let me just check. Maybe my history is going to show me that. But I mean, she was fantastic. I'm telling you, she was fantastic. And after listening to her music, I can't find the name. I'm going to put it in the description, right? But then she was absolutely fantastic. And then I was cleaning while listening to the music. I got some time off because actually today and yesterday I took time off because I've been coding every single day. I code for about 8 to 12 hours every single day, depending on the days. Some days I go for the full 16. So whenever I'm up, like you see, this is my bed, right? You just saw my bed. Like literally, when I wake up, my computer is right next to me, so I can wake up and get straight to it. Go hard, go hard, go hard. So that's kind of wild, right? So that's kind of what I do. So that's how I can do like 16 hours, and it'll be coding along, consuming content. So it's not just straight. Nah, I haven't gotten to that part yet. Although I look forward to that part, right? But I want to talk about a few things that are very interesting to me. Some, just talking about this, how my week was. So that's actually where I'm going to start. This was a very interesting week, very emotional at the beginning, because of the things that happened during the weekend, and I can explain all that, obviously, so I don't mind any of it. But it was a very emotional week at the beginning because actually, at the beginning of the week, I didn't actually eat, right? So I didn't eat until I believe Thursday. I didn't have food until about Thursday, right? And that was because, well, I couldn't afford to buy food, right? I also couldn't afford to buy food, so I couldn't eat from Monday to Thursday. The only thing that I had, I was drinking water, right? So don't be too shocked, because I've been fasting. Like I've had a long time where I was fasting. So I've been an intermittent faster before. I've been a hard dry faster, I've been a soft dry faster. So I've done it, I've fasted and gone to school and still got my distinction and all that kind of stuff. And it was intentional. This time, it wasn't, however, intentional. Let me just remove that because you're going to think this guy is a straight up mess. How do I do this? How do I do this? Ate, and it was great. But when you've fasted, when you fasted for some time and then you go back to eating, those that fast know what happens, right? Your body now starts having get used to it and stuff like that. But for me, it was different, right? So yeah, with that out of the way, from Monday to about Wednesday, it was very awkward for me. It was very intense because there was times where I felt like I couldn't code, just because of the hunger and all that. But I kept pushing. And what happened? What is crazy about this week is on Tuesday or on Wednesday, right? I just woke up. I think it was on Wednesday. I woke up and I was just like crazy, and I thought, all right, I'm gonna code 10 projects in a day. Now, normally I do like that's 2 hours of. I mean, 2 weeks of work in a day. So that was kind of like just out of this world. I mean, that was crazy in itself, right? But then I actually ended up doing it. Like it didn't happen at the same time because what actually happened is I started and I realized this is harder than I thought, like harder than I could have ever imagined, right? Because 6 hours in, I was still on project two. I was like, nah, this is crazy. And I'm coding along to somebody. So that just means that I'm actually following someone's instructions. So it's not like I have to come up with my own concepts. Yes, I'm improvising where I can. I'm adding my own things. I'm adding my own knowledge. I'm changing a few things. I'm approaching things differently and all that. But I don't have to do like from scratch. So I have a model that I can follow. So you can imagine if it's taking me 6 hours to follow along. I mean, it was just kind of crazy. And then I had the party, my friends to finish everything, had a big project that I had to complete, the Amazon thingy, completed that, was kind of crazy. It was kind of wild. And I did all that on Thursday, actually, which was wild because I did all the things that I had not done the previous day. I did it in less time, but I also had a very big project that I had to start from scratch on that day, and I completed that. I mean, this goes back to that saying where people talk about the fact that if you give yourself 12 months to complete a task, right? If you give yourself 12 months basically uh to clean your room, right? If I were to give myself like let's just say I were to give myself a month to clean my room, right? I'm most probably gonna use a month. I mean, I'm most probably gonna use like 29, 30 days, right? I might just that's something that I also realized about this week as well. It was just that when I realized that I had tagged people that I want to work at, I tagged people, I told everybody that this was my plan, I wanted to do this, I wanted to accomplish this, put it up on social media platforms, and that also goes for accountability and also marketing, but it goes for more for me for the basically for the accountability to say that I did this so I cannot fall back on this, right? So this means that for me I had to get it done no matter what, right? So that being said, I was like, it's kind of crazy, it's kind of crazy. And then I did it, I completed it, I was so very happy and all that. And then yeah, I took days, right? Oh my goodness, it's fantastic, right? So I took that day off, I took the day off and whatever. And it was so refreshing. Like it was so I'm telling you, like I was not doing anything big. Saturday was such an amazing one because I also got to pack gifts for the mothers that raised me, the grannies that raised me, that are less fortunate than I am, and I mean it was just a fantastic thing. I love giving. I love if there's something that I love doing, it's giving no bigger high for me than that. Whether it's giving information, whether it's giving anything, right? Contributing, right? Because I always believe in adding value because I'm always continuously adding value to myself. I always believe in adding value. So I'm always giving off, right? And it gives me more pleasure than anything else, right? It gives me like that's truly my addiction, contributing, giving off, helping people. That's my high, right? Personally, for me, that's my high, right? So it's kind of crazy. Said it was that. So today I cleaned. Well, yeah, I cleaned the pieces that I cleaned. But there's actually a lot that I've done. If you check my closet, they're beautiful. So I'm very proud of that. But I want to talk about something now. Let's get into the thing that I said I'm going to talk about. Right, 8 minute mark. Right. So I want to talk about this thing where professionals, right? Professionals like that are in the industries where they're helping, right? Whether it's gurus, whether it's motivational people, whether it's people in healthcare, especially whether it's massage therapists, I know all these people that I'm talking about, right? I have personal relationships with all these people that I'm talking about, and I'm in one of those categories, right? Or a few of those categories, right? Talking about this, right? But I want to talk about the tendency for these individuals to then go and have sexual intercourse with their clients, right? Or with the people that they're helping, right? So it's a very tricky situation because in sales, yes, you're helping. There's a client that you have, and then you're dealing with the client, and then that client, you're helping them out, you're influencing them to get to a certain position. So there's that, right? There's people in managerial positions, right, who are in a position of authority, and authority is always beautiful, right? Authority is always attractive, right? It's in the animal kingdom, and we are animalistic in our own nature. I mean, we have the limbic system, we have all that. We have two brains that are actually, we have our reptilian brain, we have a mammalian brain. So those are actually from animals. So we are still very much alien. I mean, we're still very much animals, right? But then what allows us to be different is where the pineal gland is. That's where you talk about the prefrontal cortex and all that kind of stuff. But that's the science part, right? And I'm going to get into the science, of course. But what you should understand is we're still very much animalistic in our nature, right? That's why we tend to do the things that we do, right? So what I talk about is this tendency where people start thinking that authority is not attractive. I mean, that's a lie. Authority is always attractive. Somebody in a higher position is always going to be attractive. That's a fact. Hands down, period. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's a fact, right? 10-minute mark. So what I was talking about is the fact that, so people in managerial positions, sales. So, because in sales, if I'm influencing you, I'm in the position where I'm an influencer. So I have a sense of authority over you, right? And you also perceive me in a certain way, right? Especially if you're listening and following along, right? People that are working with physio, like personal trainers, all that kind of stuff. The thing is, they're in a position of control, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. Who's disturbing me now? Whatever. I'm getting a call, right? Gonna end that call immediately. Gonna end that call immediately. Oh wow, and it's someone I would have loved to talk to this person. But of course I'm here, so I need to make sure I cut this. My computer is acting up like you cannot believe. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that. This is killing me. I mean, are you crazy right now? Yeah. Thankfully, it stopped, right? But then let's get back to what I was talking about, right? So it's managers, it's people that are in positions of authorities, it's preachers, it's business owners, it's all these people that are in a position of influence are always going to have a tendency to sleep with their clients, right? You'll find that people talk about bosses sleeping with their secretaries and all that kind of stuff. So I said, why? Because I was just watching House of Cards, absolutely fantastic series. I'm telling you, it's an absolutely fantastic series. There's certain things that they drag out for obvious reasons. It is entertainment and all that kind of stuff, but it's a fantastic series, right? Which portrays things in about people that get to powerful positions that a lot of people don't understand, right? Game of Thrones did one of the best jobs I've seen of that. Uh, not the end of Game of Thrones because that was a whole lot of nonsense. Game of Thrones season 6, 7, 8, especially the last season. I mean, that was just complete garbage if you followed Game of Thrones from season 1, right? But then what I'm talking about is the fact that if you look at it, right? If you look at it, people that are in positions of power, right? I was just seeing the scene where this guy is basically sleeping with the sister that was helping him. So Doug is sleeping with the sister that was helping him, right? And I thought about it. I said, man, this is a very common thing. When you're in a position of influence, I mean, you can pretty much get away with it almost all the time. Because one, the person is always attracted to you for obvious reasons that I just explained. And apart from them being attracted to you, you have the power over them. So it's a situation where it's like, I mean, it's so easy to do it. So I was like, what's the psychology behind this? And then I realized, oh yeah, it is the fact that this person is in a position of influence. And because of our animalistic side, those brains that I talked about and our animalistic nature, we're naturally going to tend to do that. That's why, husbands have a hard time with if the man wants to hire like a maid or if a man wants to hire a secretary and stuff like that, and then that person looks like, whoa, like it's like, you ain't getting none of that. You ain't getting none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of interesting to watch as well. But then I also wanted to talk about, oh man, the plans that I have for this week, right? So every single day I code for like 8 to 12 hours, like I explained, right? So I'm gonna be doing that for this week. But the main goal of this week is gonna be obviously I'm going to be getting up. I want to start getting up earlier because I've stopped this tendency of mine of getting up, right? I'm going back to a very bad tendency, right? Which is something that a lot of people do, but I cannot allow myself to do that for a lot of reasons, right? So I've been getting up late, like 8-ish, because I've been sleeping late as well. I sleep after 12, which is not a good thing to do, especially for me, understanding circadian rhythms and the power of sleeping before 11 o'clock and all that kind of stuff. What happens during those times. So I want to stop that as well. But my plans for this week, getting up earlier. I think I should go back to jogging because I haven't jogged ever since I ran that over 100 kilometers in a week. And that was a crazy feat on its own. And it scared me. It scared me. It actually did scare me. I don't talk about it in the blog post or in the article, but it actually scared me that I was able to do that much without realizing. Like, it scared me how powerful that was for me. I was like, what? I ran over 100 kilometers in a week, about 136 or 137, I forgot the exact number, without realizing it. And that for me was, I mean, it shocked me. It shocked me when I realized that. Of course, there was also other things, my feet, would get so lead. I'd scratch them like crazy, which is what they call athlete's foot. There were so many things that were contributed towards me stopping. But my plans for the week are basically to make sure I start getting up earlier. So 5-ish. So 5-ish just meaning from 4:45, my alarm is gonna be ringing, right? Then 5, then I'm gonna go for the jog. From the jog, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna read a book, right? So because I've not been reading books for some time now, I've been listening to audiobooks. There's nothing wrong with audiobooks, but I need to go back to reading books. So what I'm gonna do from that, come back from 6 until 8, I'm going to be reading a book, right? And then I'm going to have the shower. Then obviously from 9 to 5, I'm going to be working, right? From working, what I'm going to be doing, because now I'm working on my LinkedIn profile, making sure that I get recruited and stuff because I have my projects up. that's going to be a tricky situation. So I'm going to have to post every single hour on my Instagram and on my LinkedIn, right? I want to be posting each and every single hour. On LinkedIn, I might not do it that often. I might post every 2 hours, but I want to be making sure that on my Instagram, I'm posting every single hour of working. So from 9 to 5. And with Instagram, it's kind of tricky because I use certain times because I'm targeting certain audiences, right? So I might be playing around at that time. I might start posting after 12, like from 4 upwards, right, until the time that I sleep, because there's certain reasons why I do that. So that might be tricky, but I want to post at least 10 posts every single day on both platforms, right? And then they'll do the commenting that I have to do, which is the 80 cents, I mean, $1.80, the $1.80 strategy that Gary came up with, which is a very powerful strategy to use for marketing and growing a brand, right? So, yeah, apart from that, this weekend, I have a wedding that I have to go to with my friend, a crazy friend of mine, absolutely fantastic. He's a brother, actually. The brother, I haven't talked to him in some time, but I'm going to be with him this weekend. So I might not be posting on Friday or the whole weekend, right? Because I'm going to be there. And I don't know about the internet connection. It might not be there and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be there having a fantastic time and a fantastic weekend, right? So yeah, there's that. But the projects that I want to get completed this week, I want to finish the chat app. I want to finish. There's a few projects that I want to work on, right? The chat app, making sure that I do the. I mean, the chat app, the social media app, the full thing with back end and front end functionality, so that I can put that on my portfolio. Because I think that's really gonna blow everyone away. When I put that, because I have great projects, but I want something that's like, what? What? I want that's the reaction that I'm looking for from recruiters. To say, what? That's kind of one. Like I never want to, like I always say about my clients, I never want my client to say, yeah, you did good. I like, oh, you did good. I don't want the good comment. I want like, whoa. That's what I'm looking for. Like, wow. That's exactly what I'm looking for every single time I do work, right? So I want them to say that. I want them to say that when they see what I'm going to be bringing this week. So the big project for this week is definitely the social media app. I might build two of them. I'm going to build a social media app. I'm going to build an e-commerce store. Now, these are big projects, what I'm talking about. And the fact that I'm saying them here, this is going to be crazy, right? I'm going to build a social media site. Bang, I put it out there. And I'm going to do it before Friday. 2, I'm going to put out a full React e-commerce site. Bah, bam. Now I'll put the Python one, but I think that might be too much, right? Because I'm gonna also have side projects that I need to do. I have clients that I need to design websites for. I also have to factor in the fact that I need to do interviews, because I definitely have a feeling that I'm going to be getting interviews this week because of the strategy that I'm now using on LinkedIn, which is a very powerful strategy and a way of networking, right? So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to that. But man, I enjoyed this, right? I want to talk about Ascension as well. Oh my goodness, I nearly forgot about that. Oh my goodness. If you have not seen David Blaine Ascension, now you don't have to watch the whole thing, of course, but when you understand what David Blaine represents, especially for a guy like me or for anyone that wants to accomplish anything in life and feels like, it's a big thing, like it's so impossible, when you understand that David Blaine doing what he did with Ascension, which is basically do the impossible, like he has done that all his life, right? And I'm not downplaying the fact that he did something that's impossible. Like, understand that. I'm not downplaying what he did, but I'm saying he has been doing that for a very long time. But when you understand that he did it in 2020, when things are like this, people are wearing masks and all that kind of crazy stuff that I'm not going to get into with this very particular live stream. But I was like, man, that's kind of wild. That's kind of wild that this guy would do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of wild that this guy would do this. And at this time, I just realized I'm not wearing my computer glasses. I mean, I'm just so pumped up. I don't even realize that I'm not seeing. Yeah, but it's whatever. I see perfectly, which is kind of dope. I think it's working. But whatever, people. So yeah, man. I mean, the Ascension thing, just watch it. Sometimes in life, especially when you want to do something big, like I want to be, I mean, my goals are crazy, right? And I know a lot of people that, when I tell them my goals, they have that thing where they know if someone can do it, like they look at me like they're like, yeah, but if someone were to do it, you might be able to do it, right? So I have that, people have that thing of me of say like, you might be able to do what you talk about, right? So that's kind of crazy, but in your life, if ever whoever's watching this, if you have this thing where you also want to accomplish something big, right? There's always this tendency where there's always this voice. Well, at least for me, right? And I know it's very common with a lot of people that I've also coached and helped, right? Where you start feeling like you start thinking, can I really do it? Like it's not been done before. It has been done before, but not by someone that you personally know or someone that you might be in connection with and stuff like that. So that doubt is a very big factor. Now, doubt from other people is not a big factor, but when it comes from internally, now that's something. Because I'm someone that I have complete confidence in myself. Like I'm a guy that thinks, I mean, if you put me on the moon right now with no air to breathe, I mean, I might just figure out a way. I'm telling you. If they were to put me up in Tesla and said this thing is not working, I think my brain would. I mean, you can put me in the most disastrous situations, and I'm pretty confident, I might come up with something. That's just how I am. And I believe that you could give me the most terrible situations, and I'll come out all right, especially with the mindset that I have right now. As long as you don't change that, you don't get in there and influence that, I think I'll be absolutely fantastic, right? Especially with the things that I want to obtain in life, right? So I'm very confident in my ability to get what I want and in the knowing that I'm going to get them. But when I start feeling like, hey, man, I might not, I mean, I hate that feeling. You cannot imagine how much I hate that because it terrifies me when I start thinking about the fact that I might start doubting myself. Because the minute I start doing that, one, it's an insult to the divine. It's an insult to God. It's an insult to the universe. It's an insult to my ancestors. You get what I'm saying? To say that I don't think that I have enough confidence in not only me but in your power for me to attain what I want to attain because I'm involving you as well, right? It's not just about me. So one, I realized that that is an insult to the most divine force that is out there. But I also start feeling like by doing that, I'm attracting it to myself. So I'm going to be responsible for my failing. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to be attracting failure to myself. So I might end up being that guy that actually does that to myself. So that's kind of wild and crazy in itself. So yeah, man, I just want to talk about those few things. I don't think I'm leaving anything out because I don't actually script the things, but it's going to be crazy or it's going to be kind of crazy how I'm just going to be streaming and just talking like this. I like it. I don't know why. Like I already feel like I have the million subs, and if you have not subscribed, you better smash that like button. I mean, you better after you smash that like button, get 10 people, just 10 people to smash the like button with you. I mean, that's subscribe button. Let's get 10 more people to smash it with you, and let's get it 1 million subscribers in 365 days. I mean, that's a given. We're gonna do that irregardless. We're gonna do that no matter. I don't care who's against me. I don't care if it's never been done before. I don't care. Nobody says I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna need your help. And imagine when you say, I helped that guy get to 1 million subscribers in 365 days. I was a part of the first 10, or I got 10 of my friends to subscribe. I mean, that's just gonna be crazy for you and me, right? So yeah, man. I also wanted to talk about the fact that, there's this thing where I'm realizing, right? Nowadays, people are starting to miss engagement more than anything, right? Now, a lot of people have this thing, well, it's especially with how Instagram works and how all these other social media platforms work, and even YouTube. People are putting out short forms of content because there is a huge war for attention, right? Everyone is fighting for attention, right? I just click through, click through, click through. Like you have to stand out for a certain reason, right? But I'm seeing how people are now starting to miss actual engagements. Now I've seen it for a very long time. Like even when I was still back in rest and I'd be at parties or whatever, I'd always, if we were talking, like if I was at a party and people had their phones out, like everybody knew that when if I'm around, like if guys would call me around, like guys would use me all the time. I didn't mind it, would use me all the time to get girls and stuff like that and get them to come over and stuff like that. If we're at a party and people are taking and are texting on their phones, what I'll always do, I'd always have like something like a container. Now I'm seeing it even more that I'm back on social media. That's ice cream. God damn it. You know, when I'm sending voice notes to people, right? When I'm talking to people in long form, because I don't do that whole nonsense of HUD, good, how are you? Like good. And I just leave it there. I don't do that nonsense. I think that's a terrible way of communication. And most of that communication is just reflexes. So when I ask you, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, and you. You see, it's a reflex. You're not necessarily thinking about the question. And I've talked about it at length to some people, but now I'm seeing how people actually are starting to really miss having real conversations, long form conversations. I think that's also why people in my life, like I've cut down people. I've recently deleted over 900 contacts. So that was a wild move for me personally. Like that was a wild move. I'll tell you that. I was thinking about it actually today as well. Like, I mean, imagine if I still had those contacts. Like, I still have them in my trash. I could retrieve them, but I don't want to for a lot of reasons. But I'm thinking about it. Like, imagine if I got all those people to subscribe to my channel. Like, I would have 1,000 subscribers, assuming that all of them did it. But I'd have like over 1,000 subscribers very fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, YouTube would be shocked at how fast I grew. But I also think about it also as well. The reason why I cut them is it's also because like I'm looking for genuine relationships. Now, a lot of things, something that has happened to social media, of course, is it's made us feel like virtual relationships are real relationships. That's why a lot of people also get suicidal and depressed, right? It has a huge role to play with it. Like people have these virtual relationships, but they have no connections. Like they have no real connections. Like you could have 1,000 contacts like I had, right? But if you are in need of help, right, you might find that less than 10 people, that means less than 1% of the people that you have in your day-to-day life would be willing to help you. I mean, that's a terrible ratio to have. I'd rather have 100% of the people that I have in my life. If it's just like now, I am left with like about 90 contacts, right? Over that, but I'm talking to about 90 on average, right? But I'd rather have 90 people that I know if I was in a situation, these people would come through no matter what, than have 90,000 of people that I know couldn't care less if I was in the worst situation or I was in the best situation. I don't want that for now. You know, maybe when I grow, yeah, and I'm building a brand and anything, but I'm not attracted to that. I'm not attracted to having 15 million followers and yet none of them care about you. I'm not. I mean, I could buy bots for that. I could buy bots and just get 1 million subscribers in that 365 days and it's done. Yeah, goal achieved. But I don't want that. I want 1 million subscribers of people that I can actually engage with, people that I can actually have on a call and talk like this. You know, I mean, I look forward to doing that. You know, just talk like this and it's just a crazy vibe. Like, hey, how you doing? Yay! You know, I've been watching your content since day one when you talked about 1 million subscribers in 365 days and you had 0 subscribers and you still have the passion that you still have now. Obviously, I'm going to have better equipment by then, but that, you know, you still have the passion. And I love that. You know, that's what I look forward to. I'm not looking for bots. I'm not just looking for numbers. I'm looking for genuine relationships. And I'm telling you, people, if you start investing in actually having conversations, listening to people, adding value, you know, understanding where people are coming from, understanding the pains that your friends have, and actually going at length to talk with them, I'm telling you, it's something so powerful that you will be shocked at it. It's going to be healing for you as well because you are now going to engage with more people because people have a lot of things that they need to discuss and they feel at the core, but they just can't express them, right? Because of the fact that they have no one that's actually willing to listen. You know, people are willing to listen, but you feel like they've got other things to do. Like when they're chatting to you, they're also chatting to someone else. So there's no long form conversations. I'm chatting here alone. You get what, I'm very comfortable with that. You know, like I'm talking to 1 million subscribers in 365 days, sure. But then right now, what I'm doing, I'm very comfortable talking like this. You get what I'm saying? Because I understand that and I'm fully comfortable with myself. But the messages are coming in like crazy now. But then I'm telling you, people, invest in making sure that you can have genuine conversations with people that you love or people that you just know. You know, when you meet a stranger, just ask them, how you doing? When was the last time actually somebody really asked you that question, like, how you doing? And then actually wanted to know. You know, ask them that, you know, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Ooh, what's your favorite thing to do? You know, what's the thing that makes you most uncomfortable? Maybe you might ask them what makes them comfortable, you know, depending on where you are in the relationship. But then, you know, just have those conversations and you'd be shocked at what's going to happen. Just look at me. I'm going to have 1 million subscribers in 364 days because this is the second day. And it's all going to be because I'm actually talking, I'm actually engaging. And I think you can do the same. So please, people, just love yourself and do that. And until next time. Yeah.